Hey guys, uh, I'm making this video to show you all what I did with the car. Um, I LS swapped it. I've been trying to do it. I've been in the process for like a whole year. Um, Other than that, I asked for a lot of help. Honestly, it's my first time doing LS swap, but this is an LS swap on a third gen Camaro. I have a 5.3 and a 4060E. Um, the engine and transmission came together, but they really came with 89,000 miles on both, and I paid about like 1,300 here in Texas. I still had to retrofit a bunch of stuff, fuel system, cooling lines, wiring. I had to retrofit a lot of things, but I'll just show you guys what I did. So to go ahead and start telling you guys, I guess I'll start from the beginning, from the front of the car. First up, sticker peeling off. Might as well take it off in a minute. To start off, the 5.3, I paired it up with Speed Engineering long tube headers. Forgot how much they costed. I believe they were around $200. It wasn't that bad. For the dipstick, I used a LS3 with a LS3 dipstick tube. And then for the oil pan was around 200 and something. It came with a pickup tube. That's what I liked about it. It didn't need a bunch of retrofitting for the oil pan. But for my, what was it? It was like a piece of sheet metal that I had to cut. I cut probably like 25% of it. It was I think the front of it that I cut. Then I bolted right up, and then my pickup tube stopped hitting, so the oil pan went in smoothly. Up here, I got a radiator. This radiator and fans, they came together. Really, they were around like 250, 280, around there. Of course, I have all the truck accessories. So the truck intake, manifold, truck water pump, alternator, 2 coils, injectors. Oh yeah, something I had to retrofit. Of course, I deleted the EGR. I had to retrofit this bracket for the throttle cable. It came with a drive-by wire setup, but I made it into a drive-by cable setup. It didn't take much. It was just retrofitting the bracket, and then of course I had to replace a few sensors. The map sensor up there, and I believe that's the map sensor. What else did I have to do? I replaced the TPS sensor too, not so long ago, probably a few days ago. Other than that, I slapped on some new spark plugs. I think they were better ones than the ones that came in the engine. I'm not sure. Kind of forgot because I bought them like a long time ago. Seems about it. However, I did have to trim the C100 panel. I had to trim this, not this, because this was, I don't know if you guys can see, I don't know if it focuses, but I had to trim down my C100 panel. I trimmed it down to where I only had my windshield wiper wires for my motor. Of course, it's not here. I still haven't put it on because I need to figure out a way for me to put it back on, because if you see here, I don't have much space to work with unless I remove that this thing that holds down the throttle cable. And I was actually planning of switching one to a Nissan one. I believe LSX Matt talks about it. I think he does it to his Camaro, I'm not sure. But I originally had I don't have it here because I originally had a problem with my windshield wipers. My fuse relay went out, Probably a long time ago. And then my windshield wipers weren't working. So what I did was I slapped a new fuse in. However, since this wasn't this was working. This was all of this. The setup was working fine. However, I tried testing if it would work. If the problem was inside. But I messed it up. I messed this wiper up, and I believe it has grooves inside, and those grooves got stripped. So I tried thinning them up with a razor blade and a screwdriver, but it wasn't doing any justice. So that's why at the moment I don't have that windshield wiper motor in there. As it goes with the harness, it's a PSI conversions harness. I bought it as a kit, so it came with other sensors like the MAF sensor right here. The MAF sensor. It came with that. Came with the ECM, of course, the wiring, of course. Two mounting brackets, one for the fuse block, one is for the ECM. They're right there. I don't think it's open. Yeah, it's not open, but yeah, it's down there. As in for the wheels, they're stock right now, just for the moment. But I do plan on replacing them soon. I also replaced both fog lights, the signal lights. I replaced both of them. That's why they don't look all yellowish like it came. Let me go ahead and open up the car. So opening up the car, I don't have the plastic panels set up right now. They're back there. I don't have them set up right now because I'm still figuring out some wiring. Technically, I'm done. I just want to clean. I just want to clean things up a little bit, cause that's a whole mess. So I want to clean up things. My dash is cracked, of course. Aftermarket steering wheel. I believe it's a Corvette. I'm not sure. I need to replace this glove compartment here. Broken. I have a radio in here. Of course, all of the wiring, like I said, I don't have the plastic set up right now because I need to clean up wiring. But for the Speedo, I'm using that dongle right there. And this tablet, it's probably like a mini tablet. I have it set up here so that I can see as I'm driving. I could see how fast I'm going just by looking down here by the radio. I have power windows. If you guys didn't notice already, I also have that power mirrors, so I can fix them up whenever I'm inside the car. I have power lock too. My upholstery is really bad right now. It's like really bad. But that's the least thing in my mind right now that I want to replace, just because it's upholstery that not many people are gonna see unless they get close up to the car and like get in the car. However, I do tend to try and clean it up, but it gets dirty really easily with dust. But that's that. As of anything else, I got stickers right here on both sides. I got my fucking NSFR sticker. What else? Of course, I had a bunch of trash back there. Okay. I have my transmission cooler there. I have the lines running this side. They go down there. I don't have those little plastics you use to hold them, so I'm using zip ties for now. As even for the wiring, I'm gonna leave those zip ties right there, just because I don't want any wires getting burnt by the headers. I'm already experiencing that on this side. I had these cooling lines from the transmission. I had actually touching the header down there, and it burnt some material off of the cooling line, but it's not that serious. It's at least I hope it's not. It only burnt like the surface of it, the plastic nylon wrap thing. But after I realized it did, I put some zip ties there for the meantime, just until I can get the those little plastics that hold them together. And I have them running down here. These are the fan relays. They were set up. They were bolted down here, but this thing fucking it broke off. It just broke off. I don't know how, but it broke off. I have these wires here. I don't have anything for them to hook onto. That's why I have them just hanging down here like that. But they don't, when I'm driving, they don't have enough length to be pushed back into the pulleys or the belt. So I have them just sitting like that. This one might reach, but this is extending it to the max. But I'll probably add a zip tie right there. I have my grounds running here. A friend of mine actually helped me fix my fans. When I was wiring my fan relays, I did not realize that down here it has two plastics. Here, I don't know if you can see them. It has two plastics, and I thought they were metal. I thought they were a metal frame, part of the frame, just because I was working on it in my garage, and it gets pretty cold here, so my hands are pretty cold. And to the touch, to the feel of the touch, when I was touching the plastic, it felt like metal because of how cold it was. But yeah, I took it over to his house. He's like a neighbor, lives around the block. He figured it out. He was like, man, you hooked them off the plastic, gotta be metal. So I'm like, oh man, thank you for looking at it. He helped me ground it right here. Bolt was loose, had to be replaced, so I figured I had to figure out which one was bolted up right there. It's on now. This is the alternator cable, alternator to battery, and then this is for fan right here for the radiator, going onto the radiator. I blocked it off right here with a bolt, and down there too, because I couldn't find the fittings for the transmission cooling lines, or else I would have used it. But I ended up plugging it up. I took those bolts to my godfather's house. I had him cut the bolts. I think it was like 35 to 40% off of the bolt. Screwed a nut on it. Sharpened the grooves from the bolt, and then I bolted up and plugged it up nice. I haven't had any leaks from it at the moment, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, I might end up removing this thing, putting a clamp here, because when I took the car to my neighbor's house, while checking if my engine was cooling down, if my fans were working, he pulled it off easily, which I couldn't do. I'm not saying I'm weak or anything, but I couldn't pull it off when I installed it. But what he did was he twisted it and then he pulled it and it came right off. So I might end up putting a clamp here. It's not leaking or anything, but just to be safe, I don't want like leaks at the moment, just because I have one leak coming off of the engine. But yeah, I'm gonna end up putting a clamp here just to be safe. For now, I have 2 zip ties securing the radiator down. I need to find a shroud. I heard on a Facebook group that this Cadillac, I think it was an 80s Cadillac. I forget the model, but it was an 80s Cadillac that fits right up, like real good. You do need like around 2 radiator mounts, those little rubber things. You do need 2 of those for it to secure properly. But yeah, I need to look into that. Add clamps here, and then down here I have the intercooler for the transmission. Of course, I don't know if I set up the fans size correctly, but it works, so it's whatever right now. That's the loom with the cables for the headlights. K&N, Amazon intake kit came with a few plastic bars. I ended up just twisting them and pulling them off. They came right off really easily. Not surprised, it was a cheap Amazon kit. Then I have this 90-degree that I did buy separately, because the one that came with the kit, it was too short and it was actually hitting the pulley, and it was not letting me get good clearance here. But as you can see, I can fit my whole hand there, so I don't have a problem with that. At the beginning, when I started up the car, now that we're talking about the alternator, I let it idle, but it was not charging the battery. I don't know why, but I guess I got it figured out now, just because it starts up. But I think I got it figured out now, just because it starts up real good. I'm sorry guys, this sticker is annoying me, coming right off. But yeah, that's what it goes for the fuel lines. I kept doing my research, and I got this adapter for the fuel rail. This is a returnless, if you can't tell, is a returnless style. This is the -6 AN lines, and I originally bought a kit. I bought a kit for it, so I ended up using the 90-degree here, and then it goes down near the headers. It does not touch the headers, which I think I did a pretty good job with. I don't know if you guys can see. It does not touch the headers, so I'm thankful for that. However, I'm running it down to a cheap knockoff of a C5 Corvette fuel filter and regulator. That leaked straight away. When I started the car and primed the pump, it leaked. As soon as I primed it the second time, it leaked, which sucked. But I'm not surprised, as the filter was a cheap knockoff. So I hit up my friend that lives on the street, the neighbor, and he actually let me have his filter, which actually stopped the leak. It stopped the leak, and it fit on really well. However, now when I was taking it for a test drive, I scraped, and I'm pretty sure I scraped a header, because they sit really low. Well, not really low, but for the height the car is at right now, it did scrape. And I think I scraped the regulator too, which might have moved some fuel lines and caused a leak. I ended up leaking yesterday's night. I leaked the whole puddle. That's why it's so dirty. I leaked the whole puddle. I did not realize, but I'm thankful I woke up like at 3 a.m. and I came to check it out, because I moved it around. I moved the fuel line around, and it stopped leaking. But I ended up putting a cooking pan, because it was the closest thing I had near me. I ended up putting a cooking pan right under it, and then just for safety, and it stopped leaking. I woke up today, it was not leaking anymore. I tugged on it for great measure before taking it for a drive to Walmart and Starbucks, and it didn't leak. So that's pretty strange. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it had pressure or something, I don't know, but it didn't leak. So now, talking about the fuel pump, I at first I did struggle trying to mount it. It's around here, and I did struggle a lot trying to mount it, but I ended up figuring it out. I just used some holes that were already there. I didn't want to drill into the frame or anything, just because at one point I want to do I want to switch the fuel tank for a EFI one. This one's still from the carbureted one because before it had a 350 small block with a 700 R4. So yeah, that's C5 cheap knockoff of C5 fuel filter / regulator. Then I went down to a fuel pump. Fuel pump was a 255 knockoff of a Walboro. So that's that. I ended up connecting it, retrofitting it to the tank, and then from there I wired up my pump. I ran my pump wires. Excuse me. I ran my fuel pump wires really close to the fuel lines, but just enough room. I gave them just enough room to not like touch that much in case anything happened. So I did that. Then for my ECM, I ended up using this pink wire as a trigger wire for a switch power source. I ended up using this pink wire right here, and then I wired I think it was the ECM fuse block. It comes together, fuse block and ECM. I wired up that wire with I believe it was 2 more wires that I wired it into that power the ECM and fuse block. So I wired that up there, and then for my fans, I ended up finding some sort. Well, not me, the neighbor, the friend. He ended up finding a switched power source inside the car. So as of now, I'm using some power off of there, which are powering the fans. And yeah, I think that's it. Of course, everything is truck accessories for it now. Everything is temporary. But yeah, I believe this is a Jeep hose, lower radiator hose, and then the top one is the stock truck one. I just had to cut it up there because it was too long, so it was extending too far into the engine. So what I did was I ended up cutting like about 40% of it, and then I just slid it back on, and it fits nice right now. So I think I'll leave it as that. So yeah, guys, this is my car. I got it for it was a graduation gift from when I graduated high school. I graduated in 2020. But yeah, this is a 1986 Z28 Camaro, and I swapped it. If you guys want to hear it, I've made videos on TikTok. It's AMV Robles, same as my stickers. I also have a Snapchat for that, but I don't use it anymore. So I'll probably make a new one. I made a new email for it too. That's it. But yeah, this is my swap 1986 Z28, and then I'll give you guys a quick rev up and a startup.